Hey, everybody's good once in a while. The problem is, it's hard to stay good over time. Consistency is not a one-time shot. It's not even a weekly shot. It's when you do your best time and time again. Anybody can be good for a short time, but consistently good, you have to be true to your word, true to your values, always. You have to be consistent in your thoughts. You have to be consistent in your leadership and in your actions. When all of that comes together in a consistent way, people buy into you. Consistency is your best friend. If you put in the work, the results will come. Not always right away, but in the end, if you are consistent in the quality and quantity of your work, if you're adding value, if you refuse to quit, the results will come. Lioness, I need you to be consistent.
Need consistency in our life. Yes, we need consistency in our life. Roy Bennett says consistency is true foundation. It's the true foundation of trust. Either you keep your promises or you don't make them. How about that? You keep them or you don't make them. Peggy Newen says part of courage is simply consistency. Consistency, ladies. And because this is Women's History Month, I have to say this quote from the great Maya Angelou. And it says, one isn't necessarily born with courage, but one is born with potential. Potential. Without courage, we cannot practice any other virtue. That's consistency, y'all. We can't be kind. We can't be true. We can't be merciful. We can't even be generous and honest without consistency. So I want to encourage you today. This is my job today. I have been assigned to help you find consistency in every area of your life. Are y'all ready, Lioness? Yes. You may take your seats. I'm excited about being here in New Jersey. The team has been preparing. They've been doing such a great job. You know, I love kicking off the Lioness in March because March is Women's History Month. And so I think that girls rock all together, right? And so we laugh around with some of the team, and I say, this is the year of the woman. Every year is the year of the woman, just so y'all know, okay? But I'm like, this is the year of the woman, and I want you to know that, like, we rock. And I want to encourage you. I want to empower you. I want you to know that women, you can do anything that you've been created to do. You can do anything that you've called to do. You can have any desire of your heart. But there are some tools that you have to be able to be successful and to accomplish all that you desire. And it's just my job to get with you from time to time, to push you, to encourage you, to pour into you, and then just to hang out with you. So I love hanging out with the Lioness. So I'm just excited to be here today. All right. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry, but this is too foggy, hazy. I'm about to choke up here. I can't even see in front of me. Sorry, y'all, caveat. So we're going to have to cut the hazers. Thank you. I got bad allergies already. Y'all really finna see me cut up. So each year, I sit at the top of the year, and Pastor, he meets with the family, and he gives us vision for the house. And I go in my own time with God, and I talk and I pray, and I say, God, I need you to help me. Reveal to me things that I need to work on in the year, things that I need to do to make me a better person, a better me. Because I understand that I wear a number of roles. I have a number of things. I wear a number of hats. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I work in ministry, but I'm a friend. I'm a daughter. There's so many things. And I just want to make sure that I'm improving in every area so that I can be my best me, so that I can be a better me. And I know that I want to share the same thing with you. Like, I want you to be the best that you can be. I want you to be a better you. And so as I pray, I ask God to show me these things, and I measure myself against my own rule stick. You know, I always say you don't compare yourself to others. You have your own stick that you measure against. And back during the women's conference in October, I talked about Woman Up. How many of you all were a part of the Woman Up? On the Zoom, I can see y'all, so I want to see your hands. I can see you on the Zoom. So during the Woman Up Conference, I talked about there's 5 areas that we want to make sure we woman up in. That's emotionally, that's spiritually, relationally, physically, and financially, right? And so those are the 5 areas I use to measure where I've gone, where I've come to, where I need to go. And so as I do that, I say, okay, God, show me in every area, how do I need to improve? What do I need to do? And so as I was journaling and praying, I kept hearing one word that popped up over and over and over again. Y'all know what that one word was? Consistency. Consistency. I'm like, oh my God. So God, are you saying I'm not consistent? I'm like, ouch. Is this for me? Is this a word for Shameka for the year? Is this a word for the house, for the women of the year? And I think God said, hey, it's a word for the woman. There's so many things that we say we're going to do, but we may start. We may stop them. You know, we fall off, we jump back on. And I said, okay, well, God, I hadn't necessarily accomplished this to a place where I feel like I need to talk about it. And he said, okay, well, are you supposed to wait and talk about things when you feel like you got it right? Y'all know me. I'm like, look, I better share it, because if God gives it to me, then I'm sure it's a word for me, but it's also a word for somebody else. So I want to share with you, because I want, just while I'm growing in some areas, I want you to do the same. I want you to grow in those areas. And I know that I've shared the knowledge. I know God has given me the knowledge. He's given me the tools. I've shared tools with you all. I share tools on how to woman up, but it's not just about the tools. It's trying to figure out what is happening. What is happening when we get these tools that we don't carry them out? What's happening that we don't execute? So today, I think I want to drill down a little more and say, what's inhibiting us from doing all the things that we said we were going to do? What's inhibiting us from womaning up in those 5 areas? And so we're going to figure out today, what are the things that's causing us to be inconsistent? Like, why can't we carry out what it is we've been called to do? All right, so if you were a part of the Lioness conference back in October, you all wrote a letter. Okay, if you went to the conference, did you get your letters back? Yes. Come on, team. Y'all did great for getting those letters back. Let's give it up for the team. One of my girlfriends was timing it. She said, when are we getting our letters in the mail? I said, we told y'all we were getting the letters after 90 days. She said, okay, I just want to make sure you keep your word. I'm like, they are going to get those letters out to everyone. And so in your letters, you got them back because we wanted you to see what you wrote back in October. And I did that for a reason. Y'all know everything has a reason for it. I did that for a reason because I wanted you to see what you wrote in that current moment. And then I wanted you to compare now, all these months later, so now it's been 5 months since October, I want to know where you are now. Are you where you said you need to be? Where are you now? If you think about it, think about your letters that you wrote. And those of you who didn't write your letters, I'm sure you've had some dreams, some things that you've written down over and over and over again. Are you where you said you wanted to be? In our letters, we said where we are in the current, and we said where we imagine us going. Are you where you need to be? All right, I want to hear. Ladies, are you where you felt like you need to be? Some of you all say yes, no, ouch, maybe, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. On the Zoom, y'all just looking at me. I want to know, are you where you need to be? Okay, some of you saying yes. And some of you say, nope, I'm not there. And that's perfectly okay. We're going to get there, right? Some of you may say, I fell off. I started. How many of us is that? I started, but I fell off. I said I was going to do devotion time every day. I started strong. I fell off. Yes? How many of us say, I had my mind ready, but I just never got to the place where I actually executed what I wrote on that paper or what I put in place? How many of us is that? All right. How many of us said, I knew I wanted to start, but I just couldn't wrap my head around where I should start? All right. How many of us is that? All right. Am I missing y'all statements? What's y'all statements? Oh, somebody said all of them. And then some of you may just say, you know what? I just couldn't even find the time to take the time to figure out how to make it work. Are some of us there? Yes, these are all the things that women deal with. We deal with them. And then one of the things that's funny, though, is we make statements. I was meeting with my coach, and she was describing, she said, Shameka, write all your goals and your dreams. And I'm like, I've done this so many times. I help people do this, okay? So I write my goals and dreams down one more time. So she said, write down your goals and dreams. And she said, now, write why you're not there. right? Why are you not there in the moment? So I don't know if y'all know me, but I've been around Dr. Dharius enough to say that I have the gift of gab, okay? He has taught me how to put the right words together to be able to explain something. So in my explaining to my coach, I wrote the reasons why I'm not where I said I was gonna be. Y'all know where I'm going with this? Okay, and she said, well, Shameka, some of this sounds like you're just chicken. I said, what? She said, some of this sounds like you're a weather reporter. I was like, what does that mean? She said, you always coming up with excuses. So, oh, okay then. And she said, some of this sounds like you're just a blamer. I said, I'm none of those. Let's be clear. None of those are me. And she was like, no, because if we go through all of your statements, then you have given me a statement for every dream or goal that you put in place and that you have not done something with. So I had to sit down and reflect, and I had to really think about what she was saying. So if I was talking to you and coaching you today, would you be sitting in my shoes? Are you a chicken in some areas and just afraid to get up and do it? You know you said you were going to get fitness in order this year. You know your doctor already told you that you got to take control. It's time to get more healthy. You said you're going to do it, but because of fear, I just didn't do it. Or because of excuses, I just didn't do it. All type of excuses. I don't have time. These kids are driving me crazy. I have to get up in the mornings, cook, do all of this stuff, get them to school. I don't have time. Or my kids are out the house, but now they pull on me for everything with the grandkids. It's always an excuse, right? Okay, nope, I'm not talking to anybody. All right, one of the things that Shameka Daniels likes to do, I like for people to talk back. Let's talk back. Can I hear y'all? Yeah. Okay, so if I ask you a question, I want you all to give me an answer. Even in the Zoom, I want you to talk back through chat, all right? Now, are some of you all making excuses? Thank you. Are some of you all maybe dealing with a little bitty, teeny bit of fear? Okay, now, that feels so much better, doesn't it? To be able to be honest about some things. Does everybody have a statement? If I was to ask you your statement right now, does everybody have a statement? No? So you don't even have a reason that you hadn't started. You just like, that's your statement. I don't even have a reason. Okay, so if you're in the room, does everybody have a handout and a pen? All right. If you're on Zoom, do you have something to write with? I want you all to take 1 minute and write down what's your statement in this very moment. I'm sure there's some areas that you know you have not warmed up in. I want you to write me one statement of why. I need you to be honest with yourself. I'm not going to make you read them. I'm not going to make you put them in the chat. But I want you to be honest. Right now, in this very moment, you can write it on anything that's over. No, don't use the cards yet. Save the cards to the end. Write it on your handout. And if you use the card, that's okay. We're going to use the card for something else later. But in this very moment, I want to know what's your statement. I'm giving you 1 minute. 1 minute to write your statement. What is your statement in this very moment? What is your statement in this very moment? Oh, I want to hear your statements, but I just told y'all I wasn't going to make you say them or write them or type them. So then I'm just going to come up with my own statements. So, you know, Christmas happened, Thanksgiving happened, and I said that I was going to get back in the gym and be fit. And, you know, once those holidays came around, in January, February, I just never made time for it. Is that somebody's statement? Somebody might say, all last year passed, and it just kept coming around, and now this year is coming on around. But whatever your statement is, I want to know what it is. It could be, I just don't make time for me, but I make time for everyone else. That's a lot of our statements, all of that, right? Okay, I want to know your statement. So do y'all have your statements? All right, we're going somewhere with this. So today I have been assigned to help you finish what you started. All right? That's what we're doing today. We're going to finish what we're starting. I'm going to help you be a better you. So you have your papers. I like to write and do different assignments. Now, I mentioned there's a number of areas that you can woman up in, but I want you all to be a little more specific. So on that same sheet of paper, I want you to list 3 areas where you want to be a better you right now. It could be spiritually, your time with God. It could be you feeling your well, like you want to learn more, read more. It could be you want to be more healthy and fit, or you want to just eat right. It could be you want better relationships, or you want to be better in your relationship, a better wife, a better friend. It could be you want to be better with your finances. Three areas. I'm not going to make you list a whole lot. I want you to write down 3 areas that you feel like you want to be better in right now. 3 areas. What is it? Just 3. I'm not saying 5. Just 3. We got our 3? On Zoom? Okay, give me a minute. That's what somebody said. All right, I'm giving you a minute. You're 3. Some of you probably say, I got so many, I don't even know. Just pick 3 of them. They're going to be the top 3. We're starting with 3. 3 is a great number. 3. All right, we got them now. 3, 3, 3. Okay, look up at me when you have your 3. All right, some of y'all are still writing. We got to get our 3. Okay, so I try not to give y'all too many scriptures, but they're on your handout already because we're going somewhere. I am 100% sure that the enemy does not want us to win. Do y'all agree? All right. I'm sure he wants to destroy every dream that we have. You all agree? He has been assigned, and we hear this all the time, to do what? Steal, kill, and destroy. Our thoughts, our dreams, our plans. That is what he's been assigned to do. And so there's times in our life where we're doing great in one area, and then the other area he attacks. Because he's sitting on ready all the time waiting on us. And this is why we teach the Ephesians 6:10 method, that you got to be prayed up, you got to have your armor on so that it comes against the wiles of the devil. Like you're protected at all times. Your mind is protected. Your body is protected. And so because we know this about him, we can't let him in on any area. No area, right? If you have some dreams, you can't allow him to steal them, kill them, or destroy them. You all agree? If you have plans, so you have put things in place, you have put a plan together. Some of you have put a schedule together. If you're in Dr. Dharius Daniels' den, you've put your ideal week together. You are ready. I hear you in the den. But you've put your stuff together. And time you put it together, you get started, and guess who comes in? The enemy. He's ready to steal it. He's ready to kill it. He wants to destroy it because he does not want to see us win. How many of you all want to be winners? We want to be winners in every area of our life, right? You want to be successful. We want to win. And so because I know you want to win, I want to help you get there. So I'm going to ask you to do something. And y'all like, oh, here she go, right? I'm going to have you to do something. But the reason I want you to do this is because there are a number of things the enemy uses so that, like excuses in some of our statements, sometimes even people, to inhibit us from getting what it is that we need. So if we want to be consistent, there's some enemies of consistency. There's some barriers. There's some things that stop us from being consistent. There's some things that stop us from womaning up. Y'all agree? And so I feel like we have to identify that. So the reason I had you to write those 3 things down is because in a few minutes, once I finish these directions, I'm going to have you to partner with someone. So if you're in the room, you got to partner with one person. If you're on the Zoom, we're going to break you out in just a second. We're going to break you out into groups. And I want you to get your 3 things on your list, and I want you to determine every barrier. I'm going to give you an example first. But I want you to determine every enemy, every barrier that's prohibiting you from being consistent. Now, I did this myself, because remember, I said God started with me in my quiet time, right? So y'all ought to see my journal. I wrote down all the barriers that stopped me from being consistent in the areas I knew I wanted to be consistent in. And I had to look them over, because I can't keep saying I'm going to do something and then not figure out why I can't do it, right? We're women. We figure it out. So today we got to figure out what's inhibiting us. What are the enemies that's keeping us from being consistent in these areas we know we want to be consistent in? So when you break off with your partners, they're going to help you think through it, because sometimes we may say things. So for instance, let's say one of the areas that I want to be, because I'm using me as an example, let's say my issue is I want to have more time with God. Like, I like waking up in the morning, spending time with God, but then throughout the day, I like taking day breaks where I can have a minute. I talked about this, I think, last March, where I take a minute of reflectiveness. I take a minute of slowing, because I'm so busy. I talk so fast. I just be needing a minute, y'all, right? And so I want to be able to be consistent throughout the day, where I take little God breaks, where I just allow him to breathe back into me, and it gives me what I need so that I can handle everything that's happening around me. All right? So I wrote down some barriers on why I couldn't do that. So y'all help me, because y'all are my team right now. Help me think about what are some areas that maybe would cause me not to be able to get up every morning and then not take time throughout the day so that I can spend time with God. What are some barriers? I know one of them is sometimes I'm just so tired, I can't get up any earlier. What's another barrier, perhaps, that I would be dealing with? Overworked, overscheduling. What else? Children, husband, dog, all of the above, right? So this is what you're going to do with your partner, because sometimes you can identify what the area is, but you cannot figure out why. And this is why we have people to get with coaches and things like that, because sometimes you need to bounce it off of each other so you can figure out what it is, what's the problem. So I want you to get with your partners, and I want y'all to figure out what in those 3 areas, what's the areas of inconsistency? Is it, like if it was me, is my schedule too chaotic? I think y'all said it. Is it because of all the people in my life? I don't know how to set boundaries. Is it because I'm just not disciplined enough? Y'all got to be honest and true, right? These are some ouch moments, but I think in order to be better, you have to be honest with yourselves. So can y'all do that? Okay, another example I think is really good for people who have fitness on theirs. It might just be lack of motivation. Or it could just be, I'm so tired. I don't even want to work out. I'm already tired. I don't want to be tired after I'm tired, right? Okay, so are you all willing to get with one person? You can get with the person next to you. You can get up and walk across the room, however you want to do it. Get with one person, and you partner up if you're in the room. And I want you all to identify the enemies. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes on the clock. We're going to break you out in Zoom into breakout rooms, and I want you all to help each other as well. So admin, you can break them out on Zoom into the breakout rooms. If you're in the audience, we're going to allow you to start. We're going to just put a little music on. Were you able to identify some barriers? Look, y'all had a good time talking. Do we know our barriers now? Have we figured out those enemies of inconsistency? What's causing us to not be consistent? Y'all got them? Wave your hands if you got them. The Zoom is coming back. I'm waiting on them. Okay, that's good. A few of you all didn't wave your hand, so y'all still need help. So it's so important bouncing things off of each other. This is why I say it's always good to have an accountability partner, because you talk through things, and if there's someone who has similar goals, they're trying to go somewhere, the same place you're trying to go, you can talk and have conversations, and you all can help carry each other there. You know, the scriptures talk about 2 is better than 1, so that's just not always in marriage. But when you have a partner with you, it's just easier to accomplish things, right? So much easier to accomplish things. All right, so I know Zoom is coming back. I'm waiting on them to jump back in. I want to hear a few people while we're waiting on Zoom. Can I hear someone's barriers? Can you all let me know what some of your barriers are? So what's one area? Somebody share with me an area. I see a hand over here. Lori's coming. Here's Lori. She's coming.
Okay. Trying to do too much at once.
Oh, wow. Okay, what was the area you were working on?
Finances, relationships, and creativity.
Okay, and so which one is trying to do too much at once?
All of them.
Okay. Woo. All right, so we know that you would have to first start with time management.
Yep.
You got to figure out how to reassign your time, figure out what to delegate, how you're going to delegate it, what are you going to remove from your schedule so that you can start getting a grip on your time. And you need to get your ideal week. I do this, and when it comes to time management of your schedules, I do this and I mentioned this in the DM when I was in there last week. I do this every few months, different seasons of my life. When my seasons change, like when my child starts school, that's a new season of my life. He's starting high school, I'm starting high school. Because now my schedule, I got to be at games and track meets and all of this kind of stuff. So my ideal week changes. So I sat with my assistant this week, and I'm like, hey, we got to look at our ideal weeks so that I know where I'm going and where I'm coming so that I'm not about to lose it over here, right? So you have to revisit your schedules throughout whatever's happening in your life. If you know summer's hitting and you travel more in the summer, or summers, if you're teachers, you have downtime, your ideal week looks different than when you were in school every day. So make sure you're going back, revisiting your schedule. Thank you so much for sharing. Someone else want to share? Miss Carlita?
Hi, mine was relationally, and
Okay.
it was based on our friendships.
Yeah.
Like I don't cultivate my friendships like I should.
Oh, that's
I
good.
text and I don't reach out and check on them like I should. Like I don't reach out to Lauren, I don't reach out to Adele, I don't reach out to my friends.
Wow.
I don't reach out to them like I should and make sure that they're okay.
Okay.
But I text them.
Yes.
But I think that relationally, we need to make sure our friends are okay beyond the
Yes.
text. Beyond the
So
text.
what was a barrier that you think was in place that make you not have time to reach out?
Well, we're not in the same areas. We don't live in the same areas. So it's
Okay.
just easier to just text versus get in the car and say, hey, I'm coming over and we're going to spend a
Yeah,
little time
that's
together.
good.
Maybe go out to breakfast or go out to lunch.
That's good.
So I think we need to do that a little bit more because
That's
I'm missing
good.
my girls.
So if your girls are in town, you can, that's so sweet. I'm about to plan me a girls' night with my girls. But a lot of my friends are all over the states, so we do try to text each other and find out what's a good time to talk, and then we jump on FaceTime. And I know they're like, why is she FaceTiming me? But I'm like, I want to look at you when I'm talking to you. So we jump on FaceTime, and then we'll kiki and, hee all throughout the night. So, but, that's good. Thank you so much for sharing that. And that's something that I'm sure all of us wish that we could work on better and more, our relationships, because relationships are important. Friendships are important. We talked about this. It's all a part of warming up. That's good. All right, one more person share.
We have somebody over here
Okay.
in the middle.
Middle.
You can't see me. Straight ahead, you guys.
Oh, okay. It's the lights. All right, I got it.
So, my purpose, focusing on my purpose, was
Yeah.
one of the areas that I want to be better in.
Mm-hmm.
And my hang up is I'm focusing on everybody else's, and
Ooh.
so that I don't have to worry about mine. I don't have to be distracted. With
Wow.
mine. Yeah. So
That's a good revelation. All right, so what are you going to do about it? That's the next step, right?
Work when I get back home.
You gonna make time for you.
Absolutely.
Me time.
Me time.
Y'all, it's not bad to make time for yourselves. You should not feel guilty about that. Make time for you. I tell people, especially when I'm working with people in their weeks, their ideal weeks and their ideal schedule, if you are not in your week, that's a problem. That's a whole problem. And getting your hair done is not me time. Because all of us need to make sure we got our head together, right? So that is not me time. That's a part of necessities. Washing your hair is not me time. That's work. Right? So make time for yourselves. Okay, I think the Zoom, are they back? Is everyone back? All right, I'll take one more.
Oh, we have one over here.
Okay.
All right, so mine is fear of failure.
Oh, fear of
And
failure.
that's basically on all levels, business, spiritually, and relationally.
Oh, wow.
So I have a fear of failure, of failing God, and disappointing him with the
Yeah.
things that I do. I have a fear of failure in business with, I can start, but I'm feeling like, okay, what happens if I fail? What
Right.
do I do next? And that's the same for relationally.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So if we were talking, I would say the first thing is you got to up your faith. Thank you for sharing that, because we deal with this, right, women? Yes, we don't want to fail. We don't want to mess up. We like, I'm not even going to start it because I don't want it to mess up. But that's where faith kicks in, right? You got to have faith and trust God. And sometimes, y'all, it's not going to work. But if it doesn't, guess what? Learn from it. Figure out what you need to do different and do it again, right? Let's let fear go. Thank you for sharing that. That's so amazing that you all have come through these revelations. I think that's good. All right, so let's get in this. Now that you've identified the enemies, those barriers, now it's time to own it. You could tell me all day what the problem is, but if you don't take ownership of it, you're not going to do anything with it. So are y'all ready to own it? Own it means you're going to be honest enough to say, I have this problem. I am allowing these things to happen, and the only person that can change it is who? Me. Nobody else can control your time, your schedule, your thoughts. It's all about you, right? You have to fix this. I remember a quote Dr. D gave us a long time ago, years ago. He says, you cannot complain. Have y'all heard this one? About what you permit. You cannot complain about what you permit. Wow. So we're going to stop making excuses. We're going to stop complaining, and we're going to get up and own it and do something about it. And all of our something is different. You're going to have to figure out, if your barrier is time, you got to learn time management skills. So now you got to research. You got to read. You got to study. You got to listen to podcasts about time management. Whatever it is that you do, whatever your learning method is. Some of you listen to audiobooks. While you in your car riding to work, listen to an audiobook on time management. Whatever it is. Like I got so many books that are on my list that I need to get to. It's out of control. But I just bought 2 more because I had done this productivity book. And now he got a part 2. So I was like, I'm going to go back and do the first one and then listen to part 2. But I was like, I'm going to do them on Audible because then I can listen to them while I'm rolling. But y'all, you got to find whatever that area is. And I'll allow you to ask questions at the end in case you need help pinpointing how. But you have to tackle those one at a time. Start tackling them. We want to remove every barrier that's causing us from being inconsistent. And you are the only person that can do it. I can't help you. I might can talk to you and be your bounce-off partner, but I can't do it. It starts with you. That's good, right? All right, so I'm going to give you some keys on your handout. I'm going to give you some keys to consistency. And I believe consistency can be accomplished. Do you all believe that? You think it's something that people just say? All these quotes, it's 1,000 quotes on consistency on the internet. They are not just talking, y'all. It can happen. It can be accomplished. The key to consistency is setting and achieving specific goals. Setting and achieving specific goals. So you wrote down 3 areas. Those are the areas that you're going to set goals in. You know you want to improve. I want to improve in my spiritual growth. You set the goal. Now we're going to figure out what are the barriers. Now, how am I going to overcome those barriers? Over time, as you become more consistent, you have to keep motivating yourself, and you have to have someone to hold you accountable. I know that to be true. You need motivation as women. We need to be motivated, right? And we need accountability. And so we have to figure out how we're going to get there. I know for me, what's helped me the most with my thinking is reframing my thoughts. I need to be optimistic because my mind automatically goes to the negative. Oh, man, I'm not going to be able to do this. Want to go to the gym? How am I going to get to the gym? I have to get up. That means I got to get up early and let the dog out. Then I got to get Gabe to school on time, and I got to do this. And then how am I going to make 30 minutes? 30 minutes is not going to work because I got to get to the next place. So that's where my mind goes. Y'all see how fast I talk? I'm doing this to myself, right? And so I've talked myself out of the schedule before I even do it. So I have to reframe my thinking and my thoughts. And one of the things I tell myself is, Shameka, you cannot be a quitter. I don't want to be a quitter. I'm not being consistent. So when I'm not being consistent, I automatically tell myself, you're being a quitter in that area. Because, Shameka, you're not finishing what you start. And at the bottom of your email right now, it says, finish what you start. So are you going to practice what you preach? Are you going to not be a quitter? I'm like, okay, I'm going to remind myself I'm not a quitter. I'm going to finish what I start. So you need to have your own little motivational quote, whatever it is. I'm not going to quit today. I'm going to finish what I start. Because, y'all, we can do this. Now I have a scripture to go with it. It's on your handout. 1 Corinthians 15:58. 1 Corinthians 15:58. It says, therefore, my beloved sisters, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that the work that you do in the Lord, your labor is not in vain. So I like to take scriptures and read them for Shameka. And it says, therefore, Shameka, be steadfast. Shameka, be immovable, always abound in the work that you've set forth to do. So anything you've put your mind to, Shameka, you got to always abound in it. God's got you. He's there with you. And guess what, Shameka? Your labor is not in vain. There is a success, a win on the other side of the work that you're doing. So that's how I take my scriptures and I own them, right? So I'm like, wow, he says that I can be steadfast. I can be immovable, always abounding. So that means I can't give up. I can't quit. None of those equal quit, right? All right, so I have one more scripture, only two today. Galatians 6:9. And let us not be weary in doing good, for in due season, come on now, we will reap if we do not what? Give up. If we don't quit, y'all, in due season, we're going to win. What's on the other side of your work, your due season? You being consistent. You actually doing the things that you say you're going to do. It's your win. That's what it is. And we all want to win. How many of you all want to win? All of us want to win. We are not quitters. Say it. I'm not a quitter. I'm going to be steadfast. I'm immovable. Always abounding. And I'm not weary. I'm not a quitter. Y'all, come on now. That's it right there. I think some of us need to get in front of our mirror some mornings and say that to ourselves. I'm not a quitter. I can do all things through Christ that strengthen me. I could go all day. Y'all see where I'm going? I'm getting excited for y'all. I'm getting excited for me right now. Okay, I want to give you these tips, and then we're going to go. I'm going to give you these tips. So the first thing that I've learned when it comes to establishing consistency is we must have a routine. We must have a routine, y'all. Everyone needs a schedule. Everyone needs a routine. You must build consistency into your routine. Plan it. Plan your mornings. Set your alarms. Set your reminders. Whatever it is you need to do, plan it. So good. You can stay right there, Tario. Plan it. That's not hard, right? It's the execution part that trips us up. But plan it. All right, the second thing you'll see on your handout, it says focus. Focus. Follow one course into success. Remember I said that you have a number of areas, but you got to take them one at a time. Focus on one thing at a time and follow it to success. Then you can celebrate that win and go to the next thing. It's easy to be consistent, y'all, when you create a behavior of consistency. We can't be erratic and distracted and all over the place. God is not the author of confusion. He says focus. So when you feel yourself being all over the place, you take that minute and you say, okay, I'm going to focus. God, I need you to help me focus. I need you to help me find my place, find my center. All right, now, what is it that I'm working on? Let me do this. Don't worry about everything else. Nothing's going to happen with it. It's going to sit right there and wait on you. Focus on one thing at a time. You can do this. All right, the next thing is you have to have consistent thinking. Consistent thinking. It says it's not enough to focus. You need to think, dream. Imagine yourself being consistent. Think about your goals, your plans. Think about all the ways to be consistent. That's the reframing. Because some of you may go like I go. You go to the, oh my God, how am I going to do this? There's no way to get this done. I'm tired already before my day even starts. You just go all over. But no, we got to reframe our brain, train our mind, switch on your brain, Dr. Caroline Leaf. Be consistent, consistent thinking. Another one, I think this is so good, is anticipate the dip. The dip is going to happen, right, y'all? There's going to be times where it's like, oh, all right, I got to anticipate the dip. It's coming. I feel myself being demotivated. It's coming. So let me figure out how I can motivate myself. Maybe I can reach out to my girlfriends, like you said. Maybe I need to plan some time with my accountability person so I can be motivated, because some of us operate better off of motivation. So anticipate the dip. Build in motivational moments. That way when you know the dip is coming, you already ready. You in front of it. That way you can be re-encouraged so that you don't quit. That's why when runners are in a race, they have like water break stations, because they know their body is getting tired. They need to be refreshed. So anticipating the dip is already having your refreshers there. Plan your refreshers. It's okay to plan stuff for you. It's okay to plan refresher moments, your me time moments. This is helping you. Another one is do it despite of how you feel. Do it despite of how you feel. Whew, you must push yourself to act despite of how you feel. I remember Pastor would say, do it until the feelings catch up. I'm like, sometimes it takes them a long time to catch up. He's like, still do it. He even said they were relationships. Sometimes you got to do it till it comes. Do it. Push through. You got this. Have motivational reminders in those hard moments. Motivation, y'all, is key. You'll see that throughout. Motivational moments. All right, the next one is identify your daily dues. Identify your daily dues. You must set focus. So there's something you're working on. You want to be consistent in one area, but you got to know all the stuff you have to do, right? So when you identify your have-tos, then you can add your want-tos. So identify your daily dues so that you can start adding this part of consistency into your schedule. This is just the practical side of it. All right? The next one is find accountability. Who's going to be your accountability person? Who's the one person you can call? You can schedule check-ins just to help motivate you. Talk through where you're going, where you are. It's got to be one person, y'all. Y'all got to find them. One person. One accountability person. Not 5, just one. Just one. Somebody to say, I'm weak. I need you to motivate me right now. And if you don't have them, ask God to show them to you. He'll bring them in your life. He will. He will give you the desires of your heart. You just got to ask. You got to be open-minded. I always teach that. Be open-minded. Because sometimes the person may be sitting right in front of you, and you don't even know it. All right? This is my favorite one, y'all. You ready for it? Forgive yourself and move on. Forgive yourself and move on. Why should we forgive ourselves? Because stuff happens. We mess up. We make mistakes. We don't do the things that we set aside and say we're going to do. But are we supposed to dwell on it? No. Forgive yourself. Shake it off. Move on. I always tell people, I go back and figure out, what can I learn? All right, Shameka. You're forgiven, Shameka. Now learn from it. Forgive yourself. Release that weight. Don't carry that. Because when you're starting businesses and all of that, if you carry that weight, it'll follow you into everything else. Forgiveness is like having a whole bunch of suitcases that's just following behind you. And the more you travel through different seasons of your life, all these suitcases going into season after season. And if you don't kick them aside and get rid of them, they just keep following you. So you have to forgive yourself and move on. All right. I think all of these are my favorite. Find joy in the process. Find joy in the process. Fall in love with the process. Find joy. There's something in the process that you can enjoy. Eating healthy, okay, so it's something you can enjoy. I find stuff to get excited about. I'm like, ooh, that hummus, no, it was good today. My husband is like, ooh, girl, what is wrong with you? I'm like, look, motivating myself. But find joy. You know, we laugh about it, but find joy in the process. Life is a marathon, y'all, not a sprint. So throughout, take your breaks, take your water breaks, take your refreshers. Find those moments of joy. They're there. You got to be intentional about finding them. And the final thing, it's on the next page of your handout. It says you have to improve your consistency to be consistent. Improve your consistency to be consistent. That means in order to be consistent, you got to improve your consistency. And that's why we're here today. We must be committed to it. Consistency is a process, and we have to make a commitment. And your commitment is always improving. I've learned that I have never hit a glass ceiling. There's always areas of improvement. And so I am committed to improving Shameka daily. In whatever area it is that I'm dealing with, I'm going to improve. I'm going to improve to be a better wife. I'm going to improve to be a better mother, a better first lady pastor to y'all, a better friend. Every day, God is working on me, and I'm allowing him to do that. But one of the things you have to do is you got to release the barriers. The barriers are like our luggage. So you all wrote down the barriers, right? Do you have them? If you're in Zoom, you have your barriers when you broke off with your group. There's a number of things. Now that card that I gave you, so if you're at home, you can get another sheet of paper and just write it on your paper. I want you to write down your barriers right now on your card. So if you're in the sanctuary, you have a card. Jot down your barriers. They can be code words, however you want to put them on there, but I want you to jot them down. If you're at home, I want you to write them on another sheet of paper, a blank sheet of paper. So every barrier that you know you need to release, I want you to write it down now. Every barrier. And as you're writing now, this is going to be a form of releasing. I believe in the journaling method. I believe this is a way that we express things. But there's some things that you discovered today. There's some things that you already knew. But whatever it is, you got to write it down. Because the only way we're going to be able to move to a place of consistency is to get rid of the things that's keeping us inconsistent. So I want you to write them down. Write them down. And then I want this to be a moment where you release however you need to release. When I write stuff down, I like to tear it up. I like to ball it up. I like to throw it wherever I need to throw it. So I want you to discover what's your way of releasing. Is it you just need to stand up and say it? Whatever it is, I want you to just kind of have your own moment, and Jovita is going to minister. But I know for me, I like to write all my stuff down, and I like to bring it to the altar to say, you know what, God? In this moment, I'm not going to allow these things. I'm not going to allow these enemies to stop me any longer. If I'm at home, I'm in my journal, I'm writing. And then I'm tearing this out of my journal and I'm saying, no more. Your altar could be your trash can. It could be anything. But I want you to take this moment and I want you to give it to God. Give these barriers, give everything that you know you need to release in this moment. I want you to give it to God.
God, we let it go. From our minds, we release it. We release Please, Jesus, we want more of you. We want more of you. We want more of you. More of your peace, more of your joy, and we let it go. Woo. We let it go right here in the fire. We let it go. Let it go in your presence. We let it go. We forgive ourselves. Yeah. We let it go. So I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation. I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be shaken. I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation. I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be. Come on, as you let it go, release it. Say, I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation. Come on, say, I put my trust. Put my Come on, we trust you with this. It's not just paper, it's my heart. It's my heart. We release it. We trust you. I'll build my life. I will foundation. Ooh, your promises. You're a firm foundation. We're not trusting us, we trust you with us. You're a firm foundation. Oh, you're a firm foundation. Some of you ought to just lift up your hands and receive your help right there. He is a firm foundation. That's why your vision won't be shaken. That's why your family won't be shaken. He is a firm foundation. We build it on you. We build the business on you. We build it on you. You're a firm foundation. Yes, you are. Oh, Jesus. We build the ministry on you. You're a firm foundation. We put our vision in your hands. We put our life in your hands. You're a firm foundation. Woo. So we will not be shaken. He's a firm foundation. So we will not be shaken. Jesus, you're a firm foundation. Just lay hands on yourself, say, and I will not be shaken.
So as we've come to the altar in our own way, whether it's your trash can, whether it's your way of releasing, we start with God because he is our foundation. He's our firm foundation, and we want to just release this to him today. And so, God, as we come to you, we're bringing you all of the enemies, all of the things, God, that are hindering us, all of the things that are prohibiting us to be a better us, a better me, God. God, we know we want to make time for you. We want our lives to grow spiritually. We want to learn from you. We want to sit at your feet. We want to reflect you and be more like you, God. We know there are other areas in our lives, God, that we need to be a better me. God, relationally, we want to be the people that you've called us to be. We want to be that friend that you spoke of in your word, God, the person who is sharpening other people. We want to be the friend who loves, a friend who comforts, a friend who's there that is supportive and encouraging. And God, we also want to make sure that we take care of our bodies and take care of our temples. We know that you have created us fearfully and wonderfully made, God. And we ask you today for forgiveness. Forgiving us, God, for messing up something that you have created, for not taking care of something that you've created. So God, today we present ourselves. We present ourselves back to you. We need you to help us because we know that we cannot do this alone. We need you. God, we need you to help us in the areas of our finances. Some of us say we want to be good stewards, God, and we want to be obedient to your word because you've taught us stewardship, God. We want to not have to run to everyone and be the borrower, but God, we want to be able to be the lender. We want to be able to be the person who knows that we are able to give and not think about it, God. We want to have the resources so we can bless others. And God, there's so many other things that we've listed today. Some areas that we know we need to improve privately, we don't want to share. So God, we just ask that you begin to do your work. We come against the enemy in every form that he's there. Every way he seeps in, through our thoughts, through other people. God, we just ask today that you begin to remove every barrier. And God, we ask that you give us discernment, give us wisdom, give us guidance on what's the next steps, because we know there's a next. But God, we have faith. We trust you. We know that you're going to help us through this process. And we're going to do our part, God, because we know that faith without works is dead. So we're going to do our work. And God, we're trusting you to do your part. So we release this to you today. And we're believing for our win. We're believing for our success on the other side, God, because the scriptures have taught us that if we do not grow weary, God, that if we keep the fight, we fight the good fight, God, we know that we're going to win on the other side. And it's because of you. You have created us to do all things. You said that we can do all things through Christ, through you that strengthen us. So God, we're praying for your strength today. And we're ready, God. We're ready to own it. We're ready to be consistent. We're ready to give up the things that are keeping us there. And God, we're ready to win. So we thank you today for helping us to do that. In advance, we're praising you for the success of the win. In your name, amen. So I want everyone to stand. If you're on your Zoom, you have, on the back of your handout, you have a statement that says it's my consistency statement. So everybody inside in the sanctuary, grab your statements. It's on the bottom of your handout. Zoom, you should have them as well. It's at the bottom of your handout, and it says it's my consistency statement. I want everybody to get those. And we're going to come together as sisters. Because I believe when we touch and agree, even through Zoom, when we touch and agree, that God is going to do it not just for one of us, but he's going to do this for all of us. So this is our sisterhood moment, our Lioness moment. So does everybody have their statement? All right, we're going to repeat them. So we're going to read them together. You ready? I will be a role model and set good examples. I would avoid saying one thing and doing another. I will honor my commitments and keep my promises. I will follow through on my commitments. I will go above and beyond what's needed to finish what I start. I'm the kind of person that will be predictable and reliable. I can and will be consistent. In Jesus' name. Yes. I believe this for you. You may take your seats. I believe this for you. I believe in statements. I believe that you have to motivate yourself, encourage yourself. And I want you to take your statements. And anytime you get in that moment where you're starting to be discouraged, anticipate the dip. Have your statement ready. Put your statement on a card. Put your statement in your notes on your phone. Whatever you have to do to anticipate the dip. So when the dip is starting to come, pull out your statement and you repeat it again. You do it again and again and again. So I want to hear from you, but there's two things that I want to do to help you. And then I want to hear from you. I want you to ask questions. I want you to share your statements. There may be some things, some aha moments, reflections that you have had throughout the day. I want to give you an opportunity to share those. But in the areas of consistency, we talk about being more consistent in our spiritual growth, right? Lent started this past Wednesday. And here at Change Church, every Lent season, we participate in Lent. We have our Lent devotionals. And so one way we can help you be consistent in this Lent season is by you getting your Lent devotionals and actually doing them daily. All right? Daily. You can go right to lifechange.org. Go online. You can download your devotional. Right on lifechange.org, you can download your devotional. If you're in person here in Ewan and West Hampton tomorrow, we have some hard copies for those of you who want hard copies. I do mine electronic because I can just go right on wherever I am on my phone, on my iPad, and I can read mine daily. But this is a few minutes that you can take each day to dedicate time to God. You read the scripture. We have a wonderful group of people who have helped put these together, but you read your scriptures. It has just a moment of sharing, something for you to read, and then you meditate on your word. This is the first step in consistency, doing it every day, right? I think they says it takes, 28 days or 21 days to form a habit. So this is a great time because we're in 40 days of Lent. Wednesday started, so you still got time. You can almost do it twice. But this should get you on your jump start. During Lent seasons is where I teach myself to be more disciplined. So if there's something I know I need to give up, guess when I started? Lent. Because I'm making a commitment, not just to me, but to who else? To God. And I say, God, this is a weight that I've been carrying, and I need to release it to you. And so during this time, I need you to help me. And so because I made that commitment to God, I don't want to let him down, right? And so use Lent season as a way to do this. When I want to have new eating habits, new healthy eating habits, I start them when? Lent. because I'm making the commitment to God and to myself. And coming out of that, I've done it for so long, 40 days. I think it'll be 37 days if we start today, or you start tomorrow. But when you do it that long, then it becomes a habit. And so once it's a habit, then y'all, you just do it. You just do it because it's a part of being your natural self. So utilize this Lent season to become a better you. I know God gives us these moments. Think about going into Easter. We're going to come out of Easter celebrating our wins, right? So we're going to go through this Lent season, and we're going to start releasing and giving up some stuff and letting God work on us through this season. And I want to hear your wins. I want to hear about them. And then there's another thing that we have. We have Minister Bristol and Kenyatta. They have led the spiritual fitness ministry. They've done challenges for us in the past. I know before the pandemic, I believe you all were leading a group. And so now they have, and Kenyatta, I'm going to have you to come up and tell us about it. But they have a new studio, and she said, hey, I got all this stuff going on right now. They're doing great things. And if you're in the South Jersey area, this is somebody that can help you be accountable even in your fitness. So I want Kenyatta just to share about what they're doing now at Bodies by Bristol, because we believe in them. Pastor and I work out with them. They are amazing, and they can help us as well. Come on, Kenyatta. Let's give it up for Kenyatta. And Bristol, if you could stand up and wave your hand in here so they can see you. Tell us a little about what you all have going on now. You looking good. Come on, honey.
Yeah, I'm trying. Well, my name is Kenyatta Jenkins, for those of you who don't know me. I'm a personal trainer and a transformational nutrition coach. I work alongside my husband, Bristol Jenkins, over there. Our business is Bodies by Bristol. Yeah. We're located in Marlton, New Jersey. And as Pastor Shameka was saying, you know, our business, we expanded it.
Yeah.
And we expanded during the pandemic.
That is amazing.
So
during the pandemic.
During the pandemic. And I know that sounds crazy, but we always, whenever we made big decisions in our business, we've always included God in those decisions. And we prayed about that before we made the move. Yeah. The space that we're at, next door to us, there was 2,000 square feet, and it was actually available for 3 years.
Wow.
But the timing of God.
Yeah. In his time.
Go figure, it was during the pandemic. So when the opportunity opened up, we moved into the space, and we added an additional 2,000 square feet to our business.
That's good. Come on, let's give it up for that. That's a win all by itself. So now you said that you all have something, and I got excited when I heard this. Now it's boxing. You can do boxing.
Yeah,
and
we
like
have
that
a
there.
boxing ring,
Yes.
turf flooring, sports specific, and we also do the personal training, nutritional coaching.
Yes.
One of the things that we just did in order to bring, now we have all the space, we need to bring more people into the building, and it's so on point with what you're sharing today.
Yeah.
A lot of our clients that have come back and new clients that have come, they all had kind of the same theme of what they were experiencing.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of them gained weight, depression,
Yeah.
especially for our young people, anxiety.
Yeah.
They lost their mojo.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot of loss during the pandemic, and they really needed somebody to motivate them.
Yeah.
So motivational.
That's right.
You know, that motivational piece was very
Need motivation.
important. So one of the things that Bristol and I did is we were like, okay, we need to get people fired up again.
Yeah.
So we came up with this program that we called the New You
Okay.
and 22 6-week challenge.
Okay, 6-week challenge.
And the reason why,
All right.
the reason why we called it that is because we understood that because everybody was going through, they just needed a mindset change.
Yeah.
They needed someone to push them,
Yeah.
to motivate them. But in order for them to walk into the new you
Yeah.
and 22, they needed to start with the mindset, look at the way that the foods that they were eating differently,
Yeah.
look at just their whole life circumstances,
Right.
look at those things differently and have a different mindset.
That's good.
So we did incorporate a nutritional coaching portion.
Yes,
to the
and that's
program,
important, nutritional coaching. Yes, that is so important.
along with the fitness part.
Right.
And we just ran the 6-week challenge, and it was a great success.
Amazing.
It was a great
yes,
success.
amazing. So how can they find out more about the studio if they want to learn more about it?
So you can go to bodiesbybristol.com, and we do have this really cool, if you're in the area, we have this really cool machine where you stand on it and it scans your body. It measures all
it tells
little
your
bit of
body
everything.
fat too, right?
It measures everything, and it shows you a 3D. It shows you a 3D scan of yourself, but it shows every single thing. You know, if you are at risk for anything.
Yeah.
Because of, you know, if you have a bigger stomach, it'll, you know, those are at risk. But it shows, you know, how much fat you have on your body and how much bone you have and muscle.
Yeah.
And it just really gives us a bird eye view of really how to coach someone nutritionally.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Kenyatta, for sharing that. And y'all, this is so important. You know, I believe in them. They are here at our church. They've been serving here in the church and just, you know, speaking spiritual health, and health, physical health into our in fitness into our ministry. And I know I shared my story, I believe it's like last year, where I was dealing with medical issues and I had to get myself under control. And so it wasn't about the way I looked in the mirror, but it was about my health. And I wanted to make sure. And so even when I did the body scan, I've done the body scan before, they were able to pinpoint and say, Shameka, all right, you got to look at this. You know that you're borderline with cholesterol. So these are things you have to do and work on so that the cholesterol can come down. So, you know, our physical and fitness is important. It's not just for looks. It's for our health, and we want to be a better person. So I just wanted her to take a minute just to share what they're doing. And if you're interested in being a part, go to Bodies by Bristol, BODIES, by Bristol, and you can find out more about the gym. Thank you so much. Thank you. I believe in what you all are doing. I believe in you. And so I'm excited. Now I want to hear from some of you. Do some of you have questions, statements? We're going to take just a few minutes to take those. If you're in Zoom, we're going to do the same. Any of you who want to share, just ask a question or a few. Then we'll take a few minutes to do that. Have y'all enjoyed today? Yes. All right, Lori.
I really just have a testimony.
Okay, yes. Want to hear it.
I love sugar, and I came in, I saw these cupcakes.
Ooh, no sugar, and they got cupcakes.
I looked at them. Because I could have filled up this whole book bag of cupcakes. So I started the other day, so I'm being consistent. So I'm glad that I practiced.
Be consistent. No sugar. So you do know they have some little things. If you feel like you need something, they have Sweet Smarts. Is that what they call? Sweet Smarts, and there's no sugar in them. Isn't that what it's called? Jennifer, y'all get those for us all the time. I think they're called Sweet Smarts or something like that. So, you know, it's like a substitute, but it's no sugar in those. And they taste okay. You know, you get used to it after a while. They're good to me. Jovita just said, she said, my God, every time I walk in your house, everything is sugar-free. I said, yes, we're trying to do no sugar these days. All right, another question, comment, praise report, win. I want to hear them.
First, thank you so much just for your inspiring message. It truly touched, and I am looking forward to actually framing some of this stuff.
Oh, all right. Yes.
I wanted to ask you some of the books. You mentioned books.
Yes.
Can you recommend some books for us?
Oh, yes. I have books in every area. So I talked about productivity. Mariah, do you remember James? If I have my iPad, if you could pass me my iPad, then I can tell you what they are. So it's 30 Days of Productivity. Now they have part 1 and part 2. It's real practical, y'all. So this is not like a spiritual book. This is a practical on how to be productive. So he tells you, like, throughout the day, how many times to check emails, how to put your phone to the side. It's super productive. I mentioned Dr. Caroline Leaf, Switch On Your Brain. I talk about that one often. It's called A 30-Day Productivity Plan by Damon Zaharid, Zahariad, A 30-Day Productivity Plan. And he has part 1 and part 2 now. There's so many books that I read, y'all. I read all the time. So you would have to literally say, well, give me a subject, and I can tell you. There's a new one that I'm reading now called Get Out of Your Own Way. I just started it. Get out of your own way. Look, right there. That just ministers all over. Some of us are in our own way, even with consistency. So there's barriers, but the barrier is us. So we may have to get out of our own way. And it just talks about how to stop procrastination, how to deal with fear, envy, guilt, and more. So it's something that's really good. I have a number of them that I'm reading right now. So y'all would have to be more specific in the topic, and then I can tell you exactly what it is I'm reading. But those are some of the ones that I mentioned during the message today. Good question. All right, someone else? And then if you have some from Zoom, I think, Shayna, you're reading them from Zoom.
I'm right here.
Okay.
But we do have one in the audience.
I just wanted to say thank you for this today.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you go to different gatherings looking for a new word.
Yeah.
And I'm getting overwhelmed talking about it. I just thank God that He is faithful in reminding us of what He's already told us.
That's right.
And I was telling the sisters that I'm sitting next to, I said in my bathroom, on the mirror, my number one word is consistency.
Oh, confirmation.
And the second one is covenant.
That's
and
right.
I can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens me.
Yes.
And the Lord just ministered to me during this time saying, stop being so hard on yourself.
That's right.
That you have accomplished some things.
Yes.
And there is more to accomplish. But
Yes.
just to sit here, because I'm coming, you know, just morning, coming from Willenboro, like, okay, I'm going to get a new word.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and when I looked and seen the word consistency,
same word.
I'm like, for real, God, is this what we doing today? So I thank you for hearing from the Lord, sharing, and just encouraging me on a deeper level today with the word consistency.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Okay.
I have one here.
Okay.
She just stole my testimony.
Did she?
Really? She just, because I was going to say how I thank you for listening to the Holy Spirit. Because He does, God says He confirms His word.
Yes, He does.
And He has brought consistency in my spirit for so long, and I have heard Him, but I have done what I wanted to do.
Yes.
You know, and
Yes.
so because of when I came in today, I was like, here you go.
Here we go again.
You know, like I was so shocked, but I am so full
Yes.
and
Yes.
so thankful.
Yes.
So I just continue to listen to the Spirit and feed us because we need it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
We have one over here.
All right.
We
Yep.
do have one from online.
Okay, online.
Zoom family.
And I see a hand back there.
What are some practical steps to take when dealing with fear of moving on?
Ooh, that is good. Fear of moving on. Okay, I got to give you my girlfriend's book. Fear is not the boss of you. How many of you all remember that when we did it in the book club? Fear is not the boss of you. When I tell you, she will help you overcome fear in a whole nother way. So whoever on Zoom asks you that, Jennifer Allwood, ALLWOOD, has Fear is not the boss of you. When I did hers through Audible, when I tell you it was so good, I had to get the hard copy because she actually sent me one. I went to get the hard copy and had to go back through it because I was like, I need to underline this stuff because it's so good. She helps break down the Bible and makes it practical so that you can truly overcome fear and know that fear is not the boss of you. So I would answer this question by saying you have to get that book, Fear is Not the Boss of You, and it will eat you up, beat you up, but in the end, I'm telling you, fear will be on the backside. Fear will be gone because you are not a product of fear. Come on now. That's good. Thank you for asking that question.
We've been neglecting the side. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
It was just more of a comment.
Yes, come on, share.
For me, last year, God gave me, in a dream, trailblazer. But, like, I didn't understand. Like, that was it. So
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on? But as the year has played out and, like, situations that's been coming up, it's like nobody else around me, you know, like, it's no one to look to.
Yeah.
So for me, I just want to say thank you for events like this because sometimes when you don't have that support where you are, you have to make that sacrifice. And you have to decide, like, do I want to stay in my comfort zone or am I going to take that extra step, take that 2-hour drive?
That's right.
Because I want to be better.
Wow.
So, you know, when you don't have someone to look up to, you really have to make it your business. Like, it gets to a certain point, it's like no excuses. Like, you have to do what you have to do.
That's right.
So, I thank you for these type of things.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, and we want to love on you. Thank you for sharing that. You know, sometimes God gives us a word and we don't understand why, but even the trailblazer for you could be meaning you're a role model. Because so many other people probably around you, they're looking to you to build that trace. So you keep doing what you're supposed to do. You be encouraged and you keep being obedient. Because I do believe that you don't know what's on the other side of your obedience. God, He gives you a reward on every side. So thank you for sharing that.
I have another one here.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. 2 questions and a statement.
Yes.
My first question is the books. Can we get those at Barnes & Noble, or do we have to order them online?
I do all my stuff on Amazon, but with Barnes & Nobles, what I find is if you call and ask them, do they have it in the store, they'll let you know, and if not, they'll order it and put it in the store so that you can grab it. So you can get most of them, you can get them through Barnes & Nobles. I do Amazon because I do my Kindle, my iPad, but Barnes & Nobles, if you call them, they will order it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're good about that.
And my second question, are you all planning on opening up like another church like in North Jersey where I am? It's just a question.
It's called Church Online. Come on, be Change Global and be a part of Church Online. You got to come down here to get this loving in person.
Okay, I just want to say that I enjoyed this immensely, and I just have a praise report as well. I just turned 62, and I want to live for a long time. And, you know, I do a lot of stuff, so I realized I needed more energy, so what I did is I joined Planet Fitness.
Come on, Planet Fitness.
And I've been going every other day, and it was hard to start, but once I started, I feel 100% better. I feel like I could go sun up to sundown nonstop.
That is good.
I have the energy to, you know, care for my mother who's 95, my granddaughters who live with us, take care of a house, my husband. I just feel like I have the energy to do everything I need to do, and I feel better than I felt in a long time.
Yes, praise God for that.
God is able.
That's right. Able. He is. He's able. And we will pray your strength and thank God for sharing that. Your refresher. You got your refresher moment. I'm going to take 2 more, and then Jovita, I'm turning it over to you.
We have one.
Okay.
Hi, Lady D.
Hi.
So first, I just want to echo my sisters and just saying thank you so much for today, because I've been coming here since I was 15 years old. And this year, I felt like God was saying that I needed to show up for myself.
Yeah, that's
because
good.
So much has been taken away from me that I just let be taken away from me.
Yeah.
And in putting all those things on the altar, I finally felt like I was able to let them go.
Oh, thank you.
And I feel like I could do it now, so thank you.
Yes, God. Thank you, Jesus. Yes, thank you, Jasmine, for sharing that. Okay.
Okay, so we have one right here.
Okay, so I'll take the other one too. So Shayna, and then Shayna, let's get Mother, and then we'll
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. I just want to thank you, Pastor Shameka, for this, and for that word, consistency.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I have a husband that is everything to me.
Yeah.
And we are movers and shakers.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. And
Come on now.
He recently had a stroke, but he's coming around. But my problem is, and I am going to get better with it. I already know that because I did it before.
Yeah.
My problem is my mouth. And I just want to thank you. Thank you for bringing that word consistency out, because I know that's the key.
That's right.
That's the key.
It's the key.
To curbing my tongue.
That's right.
And
it's the key. Come on. We being honest. Sisters, y'all know that's the truth.
I just want to be honest today, because I heard someone that had been divorced for 7 years.
Yeah.
They had been divorced out of each other's lives and everything. And the woman's name was just mentioned in conversation. Yeah. And that man groaned like he was in pain. Oh. You know, so I already know what the tongue is.
That's right.
It's a two-edged sword.
That's right.
And I know that. So I'm working on that, and I thank you so much, for that word today, consistency.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And you know, that's something that just helps remind us in being a better you. Those of you that are wives, we want to be a better wife in all those areas, and we want to learn to respect, and we want to learn to tame our tongue. I remember Pastor did a book in the groups years ago. I don't even remember who the author was, but it was Taming the Tongue. Y'all remember that? Some of you who were still around back a couple years ago, Taming the Tongue. So that was a book that was really good. We did it during our groups. But you know, it's so important to make sure that we're not allowing our tongue to lash those who we love. So we want to ask God even to help us in that area. Thank you for reminding us and for sharing that. Okay, Shayna, hand in the back.
I was trying to stay professional, but y'all got me tearing up in here. I wrote my questions down because I got bad anxiety. So I don't know if you can help me with this.
Okay.
But I'm 33, I'll be 34, and I'm in a place in my life where I feel like I'm playing catch up because I'm back in school and I'm engaged. And I feel like people are ready for me to get married, ready for me to have kids. And I'm like, wait, I'm still finding me. Yeah. So I'm kind of getting tugged and pulled in a couple different directions. Mm-hmm. And it's like, how do you overcome that feeling behind, or you're playing catch up, or you're trying to get there? Because I heard you say that life is a marathon, not a race.
It is. Right. It's your marathon, not another person's. So I would first ask you, whose marathon are you running? That's the first thing I would ask you. If I was coaching you, I would say the first thing we have to do is work on mindset, and you're not behind, you're right where you're supposed to be. Okay? So don't let anyone else tell you where you're supposed to be now. You're living your life, not their life. So that's the first place I would tell you to start. And you do everything that you're supposed to do, and it's God's time and it's no one else's. So don't feel like you have to meet someone else's timeline. It's all about you. All right? That's good. Thank you for sharing that, asking that question. All right. You know I like to ask questions all day, so I'm going to stick around. Jovita has something special to end, but I'm going to stick around, and I want to ask questions. I'll throw my mask on and hug as many people as I can. But have you all enjoyed today? I have enjoyed serving you. I love you all, and I'm just excited about what God is going to do in each and every one of your lives, and I love to get reports. So y'all give me reports. Send me messages through Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your wins, and I'm going to be praying for you. I'm going to be praying for the Lioness ministry as a whole, but I'm going to be praying for you that God does everything that you have written that you said you want to get done in this time. So thank you so much for allowing me to share.